Fonzie after 5.
Thank you for joining me for episode 3 of Fonzie After 5, my ode to late night 90s call-in radio. Every episode I'll be chatting with a friend, singer, colleague about the holidays, some of their favorite memories and traditions. At the end of each episode, they'll be treated to a song dedication and request performed by a fellow singer. Tonight I'm joined by soprano Alex Loutsion. Welcome, Alex. Tonight, I am joined by soprano Alex Loutsion. Alex, thank you so much for talking to me tonight. It's so good to see you.
It's so great to see you too, and thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, so where are you right now, Alex?
I am in my apartment in Chicago, so not very far away from you, actually.
Yeah, just down the road. Are you having the kind of rainy, soggy day that we're having up here?
Yes, and unfortunately, we went to get COVID tests today, so we got COVID tests in the rain. But yes, it's,
romantic.
Very romantic, yes. Lots of fun. This is 2020.
So when it comes to the cold weather, are you in the camp that you're like, I'm glad it's raining today, or are you in the camp where you wish it were snow?
I am definitely in the camp of snow. I would much rather be snow, particularly this year since I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, let it snow. I want to see all the like sparkly beauty outside the window rather than rain. So yes, if I were driving, I would absolutely say rain.
But yeah, when you're stuck inside, it's kind of cozy to see it coming down, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So are you a northerner by birth, or where are you from originally?
I am from Pittsburgh originally, south of Pittsburgh, in basically like 25 minutes out of the city. And I also am, I don't know if you've ever seen our videos, but Alan Perriello and I have a series called Yinzers in the Desert, which is all about us being from Pittsburgh and kind of Pittsburgh quirks, and how they relate to opera sometimes too. So yes, so very proud Pittsburgher over here.
I love that. So tell me why you ended up in Chicago right now.
So my wife is Annie Rosen, and she is a mezzo-soprano extraordinaire. And she was a Ryan Opera Center artist in 2015 to 2017. So so we moved here for her and absolutely fell in love with it. So we just have not left.
So, I mean, obviously things are a little different this year, but in the past couple years, have you enjoyed Christmas in Chicago, or have you gone home?
Actually, no. So my sister is in Jacksonville, Florida, soon to move back to Pittsburgh, actually. So last year was actually our last Christmas in Jacksonville. But she works for a Greek Orthodox church, so she can never leave. That's high time for her, obviously. So my family has been going there for the past 5 years, which was weird at first, being used to snowy Christmases going down there. So I'm kind of excited to be getting snowy Christmas back. Yeah, but this is actually, Annie and I were just talking about this. This is the first time that we've really spent like a winter holiday here, because we're always in New York and then making like a mad dash to somebody's family to have dinner and then run back really fast to do auditions. So it's really nice and weird and nice to have this relaxing time now to like decorate the house and cook a big meal and do all that kind of stuff.
So do you both like to decorate and cook?
I would not say that Annie likes to cook necessarily. She likes to be the recipient of my cooking, and she's also a very good chopper. Although she does make stir fry better than like anybody I've ever met. So that's my favorite.
What's
of her
the
cooking.
oldest decoration you have around? Like, is there anything that was yours from a long time ago or hers from a long time ago? What would you say is the oldest thing you have up?
Well, right now, I would say I have these very sort of, they're not over the, they're a little over the top. They're like probably this big. I can show them to you at some point. They're glittery gold deer, and they were from my Greek grandmother who passed away like 20 some years ago. And so they are certainly not my style, but when I saw them, I cracked up because I remembered them, and my grandmother was very over the top in her style. So I have no idea when they could possibly be from, probably from like the 60s, the 70s. So it's nice to have that around. And I have some stuff from my other grandmother too. And I think Annie has a menorah that we have not put out yet, but I believe that one's pretty old too. So we have some family things around, which is nice.
So are you combining traditions, Christmas and Hanukkah, or?
Yeah, so we basically try to dedicate time for both. Because Annie is very Jewish and I am very Greek Orthodox, and so we when we got married, we actually did an interfaith ceremony. Wasn't exactly Greek Orthodox because they don't recognize gay marriage, but the tones were there, and so it's very important to us to kind of honor both. So closer to Hanukkah, we'll put up the menorah, and I would say this is probably maybe a little bit more Christmas than she would probably go for usually, but because it's pandemic time, she's being nice to me about it. So, but yeah, so we try to honor both.
I love that. That's really, that's just important.
Absolutely.
You think back on holidays as a kid, is there anything that stands out to you? Like, did you do Christmas outfits, or did you have any holiday traditions that your family always did, or?
Oh, yes. So the outfits that actually my mom, when my sister and I were little, my sister is about 5 years younger than me. She would dress us in these like identical sweatsuits that were made by a woman in our town that had like felt Santa heads and like, it just very 80s.
That's awesome.
And we always did Christmas pajamas on Christmas Eve, which is like, that thing. So she would, up until our last Christmas at home, which was in 2014, she filmed both of us walking down the stairs to go to look at the presents, because that's like, that will never end basically until I'm like in my like 50s. That one. And then we also used to do Greek caroling around the neighborhood, which was so fun. It's called kalenda in Greek. And we would go to all the houses in the church and sing for like a week. And we'd sing the Greek kalenda song and Feliz Navidad. I don't really know how that got in there. And we wish you a Merry Christmas. So those were like our 3 numbers. And then whoever was available would come and like bring instruments. So sometimes we'd have guitars and percussion and a clarinet occasionally. And that was probably my most favorite. And then the week would end at my parents' house and they'd have a huge party. And so we would play lots of music and sing together and Greek dance around the family room. So those are probably my favorites.
That's awesome. So when did you learn Greek dance?
After I could walk, literally. I mean, it's part of the Greek Orthodox Church is very much, like the religion is obviously number one, but the culture is also almost equally as important. And so part of being, a kid in the church was that you started Greek dancing from the time you could walk. And we always had a Greek festival. So we would perform for like every night at the Greek festival, which was usually a week long in like June. So yeah, I literally can't remember a time where I didn't Greek dance. I love it. It's one of my most favorite things to do. And I even did it competitively for a while. So in high school, it was so fun.
So I have to ask, have you taught Annie any moves or any patterns, or what you call them? Patterns?
Yeah, I guess steps. I don't know, dances. I call them dances. I am really lucky that she was already kind of into Balkan dance anyway, because at Yale, they have a Slavic women's chorus. So she sang a lot of some Greeks, Georgian, Russian, Slovenian, Serbian, like all these amazing pieces of music. And then they also had like, I don't know if it was just like people that were interested in this in her friend circle, but there was like a big festival in New York called the Golden Festival where they do a lot of different Balkan dancing. And Greek is sort of on the fringe of that, but she had, influences from there. And also obviously the hora from like, Jewish dancing. So the line half circle or full circle dances she's very familiar with. And her mom actually knows a fair amount of Greek dancing too from having that interest as well. So
Cool.
it felt very natural when I got to teach her some stuff, and I taught her a lot for our wedding because we did have a Greek and Jewish band. So yeah.
So what are there sounds that make you think of Christmas as a child, or songs, or I don't know, what instruments are in a Greek band that would play the music that you'd be thinking of this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like it's twofold because the other half of my family is German Lutheran. So I have like for the Greek stuff, it would definitely be like a bouzouki is a traditional Greek instrument. And then my family is also I'm a quarter Cretan from the island of Crete. The other Greek part is Rhodian. And the island of Crete has very specific sounding music. It's really beautiful. We're like, it's these kind of like lute-like guitars that they play with a bow, and they stand upright. And so there's this, and then there's like a percussion lute instrument that just strums with this giant pick. So that is it's a sort of very distinct sound. So like both of those, I would say, are like hearken to Christmas and like basically any Greek event also, let's be real here. But then on the other side of it, I did my grandparents on the other side were both church musicians. So they introduced me to all of like the carols and stuff, because that was something that we really didn't do in church because we do Byzantine chant. So sometimes we would have like a sing along of like 2 carols at the end of church, maybe, but it was never like part of the culture. So I kind of got all that from my German grandparents. So I have lots of German Lutheran hymns that are my favorite, and yeah, so it's kind of twofold.
Were there any holiday dishes or that as a kid, or do you have something now that you like to make around the holidays, or something new that Annie has brought in that you love?
Yeah, so well, she taught me all the Hanukkah dishes, which like I actually did cook Hanukkah like by myself for the first time last year because we were in Florida for Hanukkah, so we did it with my family, and that was fun. So latkes for sure, absolutely. Like who doesn't like fried potatoes?
Right? Like, let's have those every day.
Right. And sufganiyot is another one, which are the jelly-filled donuts. Oh my God, so good.
Yes.
So yeah, basically like Hanukkah is like anything fried. And for like my family, I would say traditional, like we always did like a roast for Christmas, some form of prime rib or lamb or something like that. But then we also make this Greek stuffing called yemisi, which like I've actually tried to look it up online and I can't find it anywhere. I've only ever heard of people from my church making it. I don't know if it's like specific to an island, but it's a rice dish that has pine nuts, ground beef, tomatoes, cumin, cinnamon. It's very like Middle Eastern-y tasting, and you just bake it. It's like really my favorite thing at Christmas time for sure.
So when you think about the more materialistic side of the holidays, which we all know are a part of it.
Absolutely.
Do you like thinking back when you were a kid, do you have any Christmas presents that stick out in your head? Like, oh, I remember the year I got that, or I asked for this and I didn't get it, or I did get it, or did you do Santa, first of all? Were you a Santa family?
We are a Santa family, yes. Definitely. No. I have a little nephew. So yes, we are a Santa family.
Okay, I didn't spoil anything, right? Like
no, not at all. He's not even 2 yet. So so he doesn't know yet. But yes, we are a Santa family. And yeah, that I'm trying to remember now. Like I would say like when I was a little kid, Barbies were really important to me. I had a lot of Barbies. My sister, I remember very distinctly, my sister got like a Barbie house one year, and like I basically played with it maybe more than she did. So yeah, those were really big. There were some, I grew up on a horse farm, so we
Hey,
had a lot of space to roam around. So lots of like Fisher Price, like bike, like moving, pedaling toys and things like that that were really fun. Yeah, so yeah, I would say like those were the best. Barbies. It's like when Christmas rolls around, I still think about
Barbie
Barbie
had
the best fashions.
yeah, the best. Do you
That's
remember
awesome.
any of your favorites, any of their outfits or anything that you always picked out or?
Well, I had a red hair. I think she was called Midge. Was that the red-headed Barbie? I had one or two midges, and she was my favorite because I was like really enthralled with like the idea of red hair. And I read this book. I wish I could remember what the heck it was, but because I think about it, particularly right now, because I haven't had a haircut in almost a year. So my hair is down basically to my waist.
It's
And
beautiful.
thank you. It's like it's getting out of control now. But the like this book was about this redheaded girl who had hair all the way so she could like sit on it. And like so that was where this kind of fascination with like redheaded Barbies came from. So I remember there was a Midge Barbie, and now I'm not sure if she actually came in this dress or if it was a blonde Barbie dress and I put it on her, but it was like this bright, like this like velvet burgundy ball gown type thing that, let's be real, I would probably wear now to sing in if I could. So maybe I should find that and get somebody to design it for me. But
that
like
would be amazing.
right?
Like that would be like the epitome of like a dream come true. It's like, like it's so cheesy, but it feels like a Hallmark movie. Like you could, I don't know. That's hilarious.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Maybe we should write the Hallmark movie and then make zillions of dollars. What do you say? I think it's
All
a
we've
good
got
idea.
is time, baby. Speaking of Christmas movies, are you a Christmas movie watcher? Like, do you geek out on them? Or okay, I'm gonna go with that's
Yes.
yeah.
In my defense, I didn't start getting into them until a few years ago when a friend of mine sort of, I won't say forced me into it because I went willingly, but he like started having these Hallmark movie dates with me. And now like, and then in recent years, we would add Oberweis eggnog with bourbon in it. So like, that's basically all I think about when I think about Hallmark Christmas movies.
Your condition.
And yes, I have already started, and we have another date this weekend. He and I, this virtual now because he lives in California, but yes. So yes.
Do you like to get out in the cold weather? Like, do you go for walks, or are you kind of a stay inside and bundle up winterer?
Well, I mean, I love part of the thing I love about audition season is the New York Christmas markets. So I try to get to like most of them whenever I'm there. And then obviously the market here too, which is so much fun. And then, I grew up on a big farm that has a lot of hills. So I love sledding still to this day. And we had a toboggan for a while, and my dad used to hook it up to the four-wheeler and pull us up off the hill. And then we would go down. It was hilarious. So I would say I like being outdoors in the snow.
So tell me more about the horse farm, because that's so different. I mean, how many people can say I grew up on a horse farm? It sounds magical. I'm sure there were non-magical aspects, but
It's so funny because every time I say that, the first question people ask me are like, "Did you ride?" And I'm like, "No, I was always singing." I like my dad tried. I mean, he's a horse veterinarian, so that's why. But in my defense, he also mainly treats racehorses. So I think we had probably about 25 horses on the farm usually when I was growing up, but they didn't belong to us. They were all either boarding there or recouping or giving birth, because he also specialized in breeding. So, so that's actually, he is technically retired, but that's still part of what he's doing in retirement is breeding horses. So they're always babies in the springtime, which is the best.
gosh.
And yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. It's very peaceful. I always wanted to have a neighborhood when I was a kid because, wanted to be able to like walk to a friend's house, which I could not do. But now it's just like a sanctuary every
Can
time I
you
go home.
tell me a little bit about your apartment right now? What you've done to holidize it? Is that a word?
Holidays? Yes, I can. I'll show you our tree because I'm very proud of it. The tree is right here with all the little presents. Probably can't really see.
Yeah.
But yes, we have holidized it there. And I have some childhood ornaments on there and some ornaments that we've gotten as marrieds. This is one of my favorites, actually. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, look at that. That is adorable.
We don't actually call ourselves the Relutions, but we thought it was funny. So, and then like this one, it's right next to like one of the oldest ornaments I probably have, which is this little skier acorn guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And then Annie put up there's like an example of some of the boughs she put up. And then I'll show you the gold deer. So
I mean, people are not going to
next to our Corona pack over here, but yeah.
Hey, look, I love it.
Yeah. It's very glittery, but that was very her.
So before we go, part of this whole thing is, you get to make a song request and dedication.
Yeah.
So what song would you like to request and who would you like to dedicate it to? And maybe tell me a little bit about that person.
So my song request is In the Bleak Midwinter, which is my Nana's favorite song. My Nana is my mom's mom, and she is the German Lutheran one. And she used to play piano when I was growing up, and we would sometimes sing together at the piano, and she always cries when she gets to the fourth verse of this song. And I just will, until the day I die, always hear her voice singing it and see her well up with tears when she gets emotional by the last line of the song. And she is one of the coolest people I know. She's one of my best friends, and she's 85, I think, and used to live in Lancaster, PA, and now just moved to Pittsburgh last year. So she is close to my parents now, which is very nice. And grew up, little country town in central PA. She never went to college. She got married at 16, 17. And I am just in awe of her and the life that she and my grandfather created for my mom and brothers, and in awe of the conversations that we have. She's very forward thinking, and then I also love talking to her about like all of the stories about her growing up, and obviously it's so different from now how it is now, and I just think she's one of the coolest people with one of the biggest hearts. So yeah, so it's for her.
Well, thank you. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
Right. Well, here is In the Bleak Midwinter.
Hi, I'm Karen Kanakis.
And I'm Jacob Lassetter. We're coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri.
Today we're going to sing In the Bleak Midwinter. This is for Alex Loutsion, dedicated to her Nana, Dolly.
Have a happy holiday season, everyone.
Adorable.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. God incarnate, Jesus Christ. Angels and archangels gathered there, cherubim and seraphim from the air, but his mother only in her maiden bliss worshipped the beloved with a kiss. What can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what can I give him? Give my heart. Give him my heart. Give him my heart.
Oh, and I guess I cried too. Oh, wow. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm so glad we could do that for you and for your Nana Dolly. Um,
Oh my God. You know, it's so funny, not because I'm always the one singing it. And it's like actually hearing somebody else do it, it's just like, just gets you right here. It was so beautiful. Thank you so much. And please thank them for me. They was so,
course.
so, you know, I would have never met them. And now I got to hear them sing this beautiful song for my Nana. And that was just so special. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me and chatting a little bit. It was really, really great getting to know you a little bit and hear about traditions from your family and what you've got going on this year and see your beautiful decorations. So please
Thank
give Anne
you.
my love. And
I will, absolutely. Thank you so much for including me. Truly, it was such an honor.
happy holidays to both of you.
Same to you.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of Fonzie After 5. And a special thank you to my guests, Alex Loutsion, Karen Kanakis, and Jacob Lassetter. Alex, it was so fun hearing about your Greek family traditions. Take care. Hope you get another Barbie this year. And remember, it's after 5 somewhere.
Fonzie after 5.